Napa Valley versus Sonoma, California's wine giants. When people think of American wine, two names come up more than any others: Napa Valley and Sonoma. These two regions sit side by side in Northern California, but the wines they produce can feel like they come from different worlds. Napa has the reputation for bold, polished Cabernet Sauvignon. Sonoma is known for diversity, balance, and approachability. Both regions make fantastic wines, but they offer very different experiences. Let's break down what you'll see, smell, taste, and feel when you pour a glass from Napa versus Sonoma, so you'll know which one matches your taste. Let's start with Napa Valley. Napa is small, only about 30 miles long and a few miles wide, but it's home to some of the most famous wineries in the world. The climate is warm and sunny, which makes it ideal for ripening Cabernet Sauvignon, the region's signature grape. When you pour a Napa Cabernet, you'll usually see deep ruby to almost opaque purple in the glass. Smell it, and you'll often find blackcurrant, blackberry, and plum layered with notes of vanilla, chocolate, or coffee from oak aging. Taste it, and Napa Cab is rich, full-bodied, and powerful. The tannins are firm but polished, giving the wine structure without being harsh. Alcohol is often high, adding warmth, and the finish is long and luxurious. Other grapes also thrive in Napa. Merlot here is plush and fruit-forward, with flavors of blackberry, plum, and mocha. Chardonnay is often rich and creamy, with ripe apple, pear, and vanilla from oak. But Cabernet is the king. It's what put Napa on the map, especially after the 1976 Judgment of Paris, when Napa wines beat top French wines in a blind tasting and shocked the wine world. So what does Napa wine feel like? Think bold, polished, and luxurious. These wines are made to impress, often with big fruit, smooth texture, and layers of oak. Now let's move to Sonoma. Sonoma is larger and more varied than Napa, with cooler coastal areas and warmer inland valleys. That diversity means Sonoma produces a wider range of wines. Pinot Noir and Chardonnay dominate in the cooler regions, while Zinfandel, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot shine in warmer spots. When you pour a Sonoma Pinot Noir, you'll usually see pale ruby in the glass. Smell it, and you'll find red fruit like cherry and raspberry, along with earthy notes of mushroom, spice, or forest floor. Taste it, and Sonoma Pinot is elegant, medium-bodied, with soft tannins and refreshing acidity. It's less about power and more about nuance. Sonoma Chardonnay varies depending on where it's grown. From the coast, it's crisp and mineral, with flavors of green apple, lemon, and wet stone. From warmer areas, it's richer, with peach, apricot, and oak influence. Compared to Napa Chardonnay, Sonoma's versions often feel fresher and less heavy. Zinfandel is another Sonoma specialty. These wines are juicy and bold, with blackberry, raspberry jam, and spice. They're often fruit-forward but can also carry peppery or herbal notes. Sonoma Cabernet Sauvignon exists too, but compared to Napa, it's usually less concentrated and more restrained. Expect dark fruit, cedar, and spice, but with brighter acidity and less oak influence. So what does Sonoma wine feel like? Think diverse, approachable, and food-friendly. The wines are often fresher, lighter, and less oak-driven than Napa, but still full of character. Now let's compare them side by side. If you like wines that are bold, rich, and powerful, with dark fruit, smooth tannins, and lots of oak influence, you'll probably prefer Napa Valley. Napa wines often feel luxurious, polished, and made to stand out. If you like wines that are lighter, fresher, and more nuanced, with red fruit, bright acidity, and a more subtle touch of oak, you'll probably prefer Sonoma. Sonoma wines often feel more down-to-earth, diverse, and food-friendly. Let's talk food pairings. Napa Cabernet pairs beautifully with steak, lamb, or any rich red meat. Its tannins cut through fat, and its dark fruit and oak complement bold flavors. Napa Chardonnay, with its rich, creamy style, matches well with lobster, roast chicken, or creamy pasta. Sonoma Pinot Noir pairs perfectly with salmon, duck, roast chicken, or mushroom dishes. Its lighter body makes it versatile at the table. Sonoma Chardonnay, especially the crisper coastal versions, is fantastic with oysters, shellfish, or fresh salads. Sonoma Zinfandel is a barbecue favorite, pairing well with ribs, burgers, or spicy sausages. Spotting Napa versus Sonoma in a blind tasting comes down to weight and style. If the wine is bold, dark, and polished, with lots of oak, it's probably Napa. If it's lighter, fresher, and more nuanced, it's likely Sonoma. For reds, think Cabernet versus Pinot. For whites, think rich Chardonnay versus crisp Chardonnay. When shopping, labels make it clear. If it says Napa Valley, expect Cabernet or a rich Chardonnay. If it says Sonoma, expect more variety, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Zinfandel, or even Sauvignon Blanc. Napa bottles are usually more expensive, reflecting their prestige and demand. Sonoma offers better value, with excellent wines at lower prices. Here's the takeaway. Napa and Sonoma may sit side by side, but they represent two very different approaches to wine. Napa is bold, polished, and luxurious, perfect if you want a statement wine. Sonoma is diverse, fresh, and approachable, perfect if you want variety and food-friendly styles. Both regions offer incredible wines, but once you know the difference, you can choose with confidence. So the next time you pour a glass, ask yourself, do I want power and polish or freshness and nuance? That's Napa versus Sonoma, California's two wine giants, each with its own style, each ready to deliver something unforgettable.